but they refuse to take it away. But as a person, I'm just asking you as a person, like, how would you feel? Like, if it was your city, how would you feel? Would you want them to take it out the movie? Would you think that it was just a traumatic event that you want them to take it out?
Because of the tragedy, I think
they should be sensitive.
They should be sensitive to that, but it's society. We're so desensitized to everything, and whatever we can post, whatever we can put out there that will draw attention and to make us money, that's what we do. And sadly, we do it at people lost their lives.
They did. 47 of them.
Yeah. I don't agree with it, but that's the way of the world. Yeah, it is, and there's nothing really we can do about it.
But it's weird because did the company really know that this was going to offend them like that, or like did they ask permission? That's the whole thing.
Well, here's the thing about being desensitized to everything. So if you were the CEO of that company and you lost your daughter and your son, would you post that?
Nope.
That's the way you have to look at things.
Right.
That's how I feel you should look at things. But who am I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who am I?
Still talking about the Bird Box.
Okay.
They are also just saying, please, people, stop doing the Bird Box challenge. People are getting hurt.
Yeah.
People are blindfolding themselves trying to drive, crashing their cars up and crashing other people's cars up.
It's crazy.
Walking around. I tried it. I did. I actually was walking around the house with the blindfold and bumped my head into the door. I was done. That was it. It was a wrap for me. I'm like, nope. I'm not even trying it.
So how did you feel about the movie?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was really, really good.
I thought I had to watch it twice, but I just kind of went over all the scenes because they could have written it a lot better.
Yeah.
I think at least toward the end, because you didn't really know what it was, but if you paid attention to the beginning of the movie,
right,
and some things that happened in the middle of the movie, you understood what it was.
Yes.
I loved it. I thought it was a good movie. I'd watch it again. I'd recommend it, and that's why I don't listen to other people's opinions.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta make your own opinion about things.
Yeah.
But it was a good movie to me and to Nick.
So that's The Drip. Drippity drop drop. We'll be back. You're listening to The Drip Podcast.
Wait a minute. You're listening to The Drip Podcast with Nick and Mars. Keep it locked.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to The Drip. We're back
Back in the building.
Guess who loves you more? Falling in love with yourself or falling back in love with yourself. Can you fall out of love with yourself?
Yes. You can.
Can you?
Yeah. Because of things.
Enlighten me.
All right, so if you are experiencing something traumatic, or like, say for instance, you have some challenges or some I'm not gonna say challenges, some goals that you have set for yourself, and you have not achieved those goals, and all of a sudden something happens, and you're like, I should have been at this point already, but I'm not there. So how do I get, like, what is causing me to, not achieve this goal that I have set for? Is it me? Is it something that I'm doing? Is it someone else? Then you go back to saying, okay, it is me.
But is that falling out of love with yourself, or were you never in love with yourself or had love for yourself?
Most people, they really don't know how to love.
Yeah.
Especially if they've been hurt.
Yeah, I thought about it a little bit, and I don't, and this is just my opinion. I don't think you can fall out of love with yourself. I think once you love yourself and you're into yourself and you're taking care of yourself and respecting yourself and giving yourself all the things that you need, it's hard to get out of that. Situations may happen to you that will cause you to rethink how you love yourself, if that makes sense. But I don't think you can fall out of love with yourself once you're there.
No, you can. Like you could say, like you ever seen, like I have, I know a lot of young ladies, they might go to the point, or gentlemen that say, you know, I hate myself, or, you know, I don't feel like I can do it, or they don't believe in themselves, or they are just down. And I'm going to give myself, for example. So I went so many years being overweight. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like lost myself and fell out of love with myself. Like, okay, well, I will never be healthy, and I will always have this weight that I'm carrying. And it was a wake up call to myself. Like, I have to fall back in love with myself. I have to love myself first. Mm-hmm. Because if I try to love everybody else and I forget about myself. Mm-hmm. So I have to reinvent myself basically, mm-hmm. by falling back in love with myself, taking myself out, doing things for myself, mm-hmm. Getting myself back on track as far as my weight and my health. And that's what I did. I fell back in love with myself because I lost myself. I lost the love that I once had, like growing up as a kid. Oh, I was, yay, more, like, da, 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 da. No. Mm-hmm. Then as it went on, as my life went on and the different challenges that I have experienced in my life, I just lost the love of myself, and I had to get that back.
Okay.
So it depends on the person.
I get. And I'm not saying it, you know, there's not a right or wrong answer. I just feel differently about it, but you know, that's what it was for you. And I guess, yeah, it depends on the person.
So then that
and
same
people's
person,
journey.
that same person that's hurt, what do they do with that hurt or that love that they lost? Mm-hmm. They start hurting other people, and they don't love other people or don't know how to love other people.
Well, clearly, if you don't love yourself, you have nothing to give to anybody else.
Right.
Yeah. My father taught me when I was, I think about 9 years old, 9 or 10 years old, mm-hmm. I, you know, was infatuated with this guy in elementary school, and he found a love letter that I had written to the guy.
Oh, you were telling me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I guess at that time, my mother didn't know what to do, so she gave the letter to my dad. Okay. And my dad had this conversation with me, and he said, little girl, you can't love anybody like this until you learn to love yourself.
Okay.
And that was at 9 years old, 9 or 10. And I don't know, stuff that your parents say to you, certain mm-hmm. things, it sticks with you forever. Okay. So I remembered it up until, you know, throughout my life. Mm-hmm. And it was like, well, what does he mean by that? What does he mean by that? What does loving yourself really mean? So I was having those conversations with myself as a teenager, because I always remembered, well, I can't have a boyfriend if I don't love myself. So how do I love myself? Mm-hmm. So that journey for me started way back then, but everybody doesn't have that. I don't know, that foundation to mm-hmm. figure out how to love themselves. Like,
so can you learn to learn how to love yourself?
I learned how to love myself, and mm-hmm. it wasn't, and you have an idea of what it is when you're 18, and mm-hmm. that idea changes when you're 25.
Right.
It changes when you're 35. Right. It changes into your 40s mm-hmm. because you're constantly changing, and you're constantly finding out who you are and what you need. And I think that's what love is. It's action. It's active. It's constant movement, constant knowledge, fixing, shaping, molding. And we're talking about self. We're not talking mm-hmm. about love for somebody else. Right. It's constant action. So, you know, it looks different in every phase of your life, but it never changes. It's always the same thing.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can learn to love yourself.
So what does love mean
learning. To you? Acceptance.
Okay.
Except when you're talking about self-love, mm-hmm. for me, it's accepting myself wholly, who I am right now.
Okay.
Faults, weaknesses, strengths, all of that. Accepting it, and then working at the things that I don't like about myself.
Okay.
When you say self-love, I always bring it back to relationships.
Okay.
I married my husband because he was attentive, because he, you know, spoke kindly. He spoke kindly to me. He, all of the things that you look for in a mate or a partner mm-hmm. are the things that you should be able to give yourself and look inward for yourself. So if I need somebody to be kind to me, speak kindly to me, I need to speak kindly to myself.
Right.
I need to start talking to myself and talk that love language to myself and compliment myself and respect myself.
But what if you don't have that? Because a lot of people now don't have that.
We go back to, can you learn to do it? And you have to get to a place where you know you need to learn to do it.
Right.
And I think that's the hardest part in the journey of people with self-love. You have to get to a point in your life where you know you need something different. And I don't know when people get to that point. I'm not a therapist. I can only tell you about me. And the stuff that I've gone through.
So do you think that those who are like out of love with themselves, do you think they need more love, or are the hardest people to love on?
Yeah, people who don't love themselves, they are the most difficult people to love.
But why?
They don't think they deserve it. They don't think they deserve. I know somebody right now, this day. I love them dearly, and they've been so hurt in the past, traumas and tragedies just piled up on top of each other, and never a breather. It seems like they've never had a breather in their life. And I think when you get bogged down so much by life and kicked in the butt by life so much, you do get to a point where you feel undeserving of anything.
So hurt people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They don't know anything else. And for people who have been brought up in homes like that, it becomes the norm. It is the norm for them. I don't know. This is like the toughest conversation.
Some underlining issues going on there. Like, 'cause there's some people who maybe had a household that experienced love, and they have reverted back to the I don't love myself.
See, that's hard. That's hard, because that means if you grow up with people around you who are loving and affectionate, and you still don't feel that, that's something inside of you that's causing you to reject that. And I don't know if it's abuse, if it's I don't know. I don't know. This is the hardest conversation ever.
But it's good, because this is what a lot of people are experiencing.
Is it hot down here? Or is it just a conversation?
It's just the conversation.
I'm hot. I don't. So love is it's a beautiful, strange thing. It is.
It is.
And
it is.
But
like, as a mother and a wife, do you feel that you have given everybody in your household equal amounts of love, so that they can continue to love on themselves and then love on others?
What I've learned with our children, everybody needs something different.
Right.
I cannot love my oldest son the same way I love my oldest daughter, because they need something different.
Right. But did you give them what they needed? Or do you think that you lack?
I think sometimes,
just a little bit.
I don't think any parent can ever say that they've given their child everything that they needed.
I'm talking about love, not nothing else, nothing financially, the love and the support.
Love, yeah, but that looks different. Love looks different for every person.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying for each child, because you know that each child is different. One might need a certain type of love, and the other one might need a certain type of love. Are you giving them what?
Yeah, I believe I am.
Okay.
I believe. Can I do better? Absolutely.
Okay.
Always.
What about for your husband?
Am I giving him love?
Stay over there.
Yeah.
We over here.
We're not talking about sexual. We're, I think I am, and I think I can do better with that too. We said in the last show, we're so busy, and he mentioned before the new year being more attentive to each other. he's so busy with his projects and his business and